Position about 8 yards from goal. Thoroughly unforgettable performance. Performance. Thoroughly unforgettable performance.
Line's great, same line.
Welcome curling fans across Ontario and around the world to another exciting season of curling on Title Sports Live. Today we have live coverage of the Ontario U21 Men's and Women's Curling Championship being held here at the Annandale Golf and Curling Club in Ajax, Ontario. My name is Mary Chilvers and I'm joined here today by the 2018 Canadian Mixed Champion, Danielle Inglis. Hello, Danielle.
Hello, Mary. It's great to be here and to be part of this U21 championship. This event features some of the top young curlers from all around the province competing for a chance to represent Ontario at the National U21 event that's being held January 13th through 21st in Shawinigan, Quebec.
And our feature game today is going to be Team Hall from the Westmount Golf and Country Club up against Team WILLSEY from the KW Granite Club.
Now this is a key game here, Mary. These are the two teams that are on top of the standings. Team WILLSEY is undefeated, 6-0, and Team Hall is sitting at 5-1. So the winner of this game advances directly to the final. The losing team will go into the semifinal and await their opponent. Now, speaking of the rest of the standings, we have Team Leung at 4-2, Team Richard at 3-3, Team Marshall and Team Fayez at 2-4, and they are now out of the running for the competition. And Team Han and Team Steep, each with one win, also out of the competition. But the situation here is that Team WILLSEY and Team Hall, of course, have secured their spot in a playoff position. Team Leung is playing Team Marshall. A win guarantees them a spot in the semifinal, but a loss plus a win by Team Richard, they're playing Team Fayez, would equal a tiebreaker.
Right, tiebreaker between Leung and Richard. And in the women's side, we have at the top of the standings Wallingford and Murphy, and they happen to also be playing each other. right now in draw 7. So the winner of that is definitely going to go to the final. And as far as the third place, we have a 3-way tie with Steele, Little, and Ald. Little and Ald are playing each other in this draw, so the loser of that game is going to be out. And if Steele can manage to win her game, there could possibly be a tiebreaker between Steele and the winner of Little and Ald. Rest of the standings for the women, we have Warner and Kimmel at 2 and 4, and Rosen at 1 and 5. So those 3 teams are out of the competition. And as we look at our featured game here today, looks like we have Team Hall with the hammer.
And we truly do have the 2 top teams here at this point. If you look at their standings on the Ontario Junior Curling Tour, they're ranked number 1 and number 2. So Team Hall has the number 1 spot and Team Willsey with number 2 ranking.
Line's good. Right on.
Yeah, these 2 teams have definitely dominated here this week.
Line's good.
I expect a great game, Danielle.
Absolutely.
Yep. Keep going.
And right off the hop here, even though we had the rocks or glide through the house, I like the aggressiveness that we're playing with, the offense that Matt Hall started with. He threw up a corner immediately.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, and I think we're going to see that from both skips in this game.
A little tight. Yeah, go then. Hasn't moved yet. Not curling. Oh. Okay. Whoa! No! No, Jeff!
This Matt Hall team was the winner of this last year, Danielle.
No worries.
They were. And we're playing in the Canadian Junior Finals as well.
Clean. Oh.
Team Willsey's happy to keep this a little more open. Saw peeling the corner guard, not interested in playing with many rocks and play in the first end.
Again, both of these teams, it's their first time on this sheet. And I'm told some of the sheets are a little different.
On the on. Line's good. Wait only. Okay. Go top 4 then. Okay. Coming down.
So we definitely have a few games that we're going to keep a close eye on, Danielle. See how this all works out in the end. Tiebreakers or no tiebreakers?
And we'll update you on the scores after every end with special attention to the games that are of the teams that are still in the running here for a playoff spot. And of course, we mentioned that Team Willsey so far has run the table in this competition, and Team Hall with only 1 loss, and that was a 7-6 loss to Team Leung last night. Very, very close one came down to Matt Hall's last rock.
Yeah.
On the O. On the O. Good. Just a little bit soft on release there, Joe. Yeah. It feels quicker there? Okay. Okay.
A snowy day out here in Ajax, Ontario, and it's been the warmest it's been so far during this competition. It's a glorious -9 out.
Glorious.
Glorious. With a snowstorm.
Yeah.
But this is actually
Line's good.
a good thing for the ice. The colder the temperatures, not only the colder it is out on the ice surface for the
Line's
players,
great.
but also affects the ice conditions too. And
Line's
it's because there isn't a heater
Real
at
good,
this
Jeff.
facility, they have a harder time regulating the temperature in the curling rinks. So the colder it is outside, colder it is inside, and that also results in straighter ice.
Oh. Oh. Clean. Yep.
What I find interesting about the way Matt's calling this, he keeps going to the one side, putting the same guard up. Now he's calling it in the rings, but on the same side.
Nice throws.
I might want to move it around a bit while you have the chance.
For sure.
Watch
Again,
how
like,
the opponent's
edge or
hits
rock
are
for
running on
control.
those.
On that side. A little more on that side.
Force them to throw a different spot, hopefully get an
Yeah.
error out of
I
them.
still think it'll
Line's
fall
good.
like just straight most of the way. I don't want to go
Line's
off the rock.
good. Wait, only line's good.
Where the winning team of this event will be
Wait,
going
only
will also
line's
be
good.
quite chilly. So
Oh, yes.
for looking at the weather forecast in Shawinigan,
Good job.
it's more north than we are here, and right now it's at 18 degrees, which was the high for today.
Minus.
Minus 18 degrees.
Yeah. If it was positive, I'd be over there. Yeah.
So we, some of the teams were concerned about potentially some of the ice was straighter than they've played on during some events this season, and some of the teams were having some trouble adapting, especially at the beginning of this competition. But said before, if you never know what kind of ice you're going to get at any given competition, and I mean even at the national level or the international level, so you really need to be prepared to play on different types of ice surfaces and adapt.
They can like control.
But as straight as some of the players were saying, we've been noting through all of the games that we've watched that it's very consistent. What we've seen on this sheet, the spots where it curls, the spots where it's straighter, plus the speed has been maintained throughout the whole game.
Yeah, the draw weight has been around 15 seconds and lasting throughout 10 ends, even 11 ends.
Clean.
That's just easy control.
Liking the weight that the players are throwing out here, even just for the open hits. Controlled weight hit, which on straighter ice, it's going to result in you're able to manipulate it more with the sweeping.
Less.
And as a time saver, you can
Just firm.
see the vice. Jeff Wanless is already in the hack, calling the shot for Matt Hall, and he's in the hack ready to throw this rock.
Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard.
And he just rolls out for a blank end here in the first end of play. So Matt Hall will retain last rock in the second end.
It's got a hair tight on you, right?
All of the other games are still in the first end, so we'll be giving more updates after the second. So with one of these teams going directly to the final Mary, that means that they're they're going to have some time to think about it. What's you having played in many, many big events, big national, provincial competitions?
Well, not many. And a long time ago, but anyway.
The principles still stand. If you have that time,
Yeah.
what do you suggest that the teams focus on?
You know what? It's really hard. Like, so the winner of this, what's today? Friday. They're not going to play. Well, they'll play late Saturday. The final will be late Saturday. So yeah, not a terrible amount of time in between. Because sometimes I find, you know, some of the teams will have a day off between having to play that final, and it is tough. You know, and you're just sitting around, you're kind of antsy, you just want to get out there and get going. So I don't know, I think sometimes it's good to just try to get your mind off it, maybe go for a little tour of the town or play some cards, something like that, to get your mind off this final game coming up.
Line's great.
Now, when you were in the Canadian mixed, you played in the semi?
We did.
Good,
Yeah,
Phoebe,
we
good
did.
throw. Good judge.
And that was it was a good thing for us because, like you said, that time off just gives you more time to think about what ultimately is going to happen. For us, we had a pretty quick turnaround, so we actually kept our schedule for the week. We played our last round robin game at same time. We always played our first first game of the day, and then we turned around and played the final at a time we were also familiar with, so we were able to keep our routine.
Yeah.
We went to the same restaurant.
Did you?
We did.
Yeah.
And we the same timing for stretching and everything. So that it really is an advantage.
Yeah.
Not to mention you have that momentum.
Yeah, for sure.
That being said, the team that's in the final, you know, is has been the top all week, and
Yes.
they're going to be tough.
They're going to be tough. Usually when you get the bye to the final, it's because you were the best team all week, more or less. And, yeah.
So throwing lead stones for Team Hall is David Hart. And, of course, they won. He was still playing with Matt Hall and won the provincial U21 last year. And was a silver medalist at the 2017 Canadian Nationals. He's also will meet his brother Joseph Hart, who's throwing second stones for this team in a few minutes. And if the last name Hart is familiar to you, their dad is none other than Richard Hart.
The one and only Richard Hart. Yep. We have a lot of names out here today that people are going to recognize. Playing second for the WILLSEY team is Connor Laws. Of course, Connor has a few relatives in the game right now, or in the past.
Hey, Jordy, yep. Whoa, 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 can't bounce. Whoa, 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 whoa. Attaboy, great throw.
Connor's aunt, he has two aunts that you probably have heard of. One would be Andrea Laws, who's been to, I think, 4 or 5 Scotty National Championships. And, of course, Caitlin Laws is also his aunt. And he also had a grandfather who played in the Brier in 1969, representing Newfoundland.
Comes from a solid family.
Certainly.
Whoa. Close.
We have Joseph Hart, as you mentioned, also was at the Nationals last year, runner-up. A 2-time provincial champion, and has been the OJCT winner twice as well. And he's very camera shy, so
That's what he says, huh?
he does. You know, not everybody loves the spotlight, and
No.
and he is not. But like he even states that his proudest moment in curling was when his brother made 2 ticks in the extra end in the semifinal of, I believe that was the national championship, the national junior championship last year.
Really?
So his proudest moment was for his brother.
Brother, wow.
Oh, easy, easy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Clean, clean, clean. Yep, 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 yep. Good. Shot.
Flip.
Sleep.
Roll. No. Roll. Yep. Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa. Good.
Beautiful shot.
Yeah, well called shot too.
Really calm weight there,
Yeah.
control weight.
Yeah.
We've talked about before in previous broadcasts, but these stones, the striking bands, were conditioned this season, so they're very active. So it doesn't take much for these rocks to bounce off one another.
So the third for the WILLSEY team is Jordy Lyon Hatcher.
Whoa, wait only. Wait only. Wait only. Whoa, whoa line, whoa line.
He won the 2017
Okay, go
OVAs
then. Yep,
with
yep,
Laurier
yep.
University.
Yep, line's good, yep, yep.
Oh, he has
Hard.
three cats, 2 dogs, and a turkey.
And a turkey.
Yep, 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 yep. Hard, hard.
These
hard,
guys
good,
are
yeah.
so interesting
Hard,
out here.
hard,
Every
hard,
team has had some
hard,
really
hard,
interesting facts.
So is this a
Jordy.
pet turkey?
Well, I'm thinking. I hope they're not going to eat it.
Forward.
It's horrible if I bet it's not called Thanksgiving or Christmas.
We're going to have to ask him.
Throwing third stones for the Hall team is Jeff Wanless, and he was, of course, part of the Hall team who won the province last year and was a silver medalist at the Canadian National, so no stranger to the big competition.
Joe, Joe.
Actually, I remember Jeff from coaching him back at the Trillium Curling Camp. It was a few years ago now, but and I remember I very much so remember him and the potential he had. He was very good technically, but also a very keen student, and that is just so important. So that's a coach's dream.
Yep.
A little tighter line. Less line, yep. That line's tight. Okay, whoa then. Whoa, whoa. Whoa then. Whoa. Clean, yep, yep, yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Connor, Connor, yep, Connor, Connor, yep, 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 yep. Yes, 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 yes.
And you can see even just that little bump, and they managed to get shot number 1 and 2 out of it.
That worked out, though. I mean, like, you're probably only just back 12. I was like, they said that you were bumping already, so I figured
Line's good.
on it, try to sit too.
Line's good. Wait only. Wait only. Line's good. Wait only. Room, room. Wait only. Line's great, boys. Wait only. Freeze it. Line's great, boys. Freeze it. Freeze it. Yep, 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 yep.
And you see both players who are actually sweeping on the same side there. They, again, that downstroke can be so powerful in helping the rock to finish curling. So 2 is better than 1.
Okay.
Yeah. 2 strong sweepers can really make a difference.
Like that.
I would say all of the teams out here are very strong sweepers. Though from what I've seen out here on the sheet, we might even have the strongest sweepers out here. We also have 2 of the older teams out here as well in the competition.
Right. Yeah. So the skip of this WILLSEY team is John WILLSEY.
No. Just once they get by that guard.
2012 Bantam Mixed Champion, 3-time Junior Mixed runner-up.
speed's like over there.
Interesting fact is he enjoys pistachios.
They are delicious.
Yeah.
I feel like there's got to be a story behind that one.
He's out there. Roll this off if you can.
This
Zach.
one's a little heavy. Tracking a bit.
Yep.
No, I
Right
didn't think it
around
was
here,
huge,
right?
but I didn't think I added a ton.
Yeah.
But
Right there.
oh, okay.
Yeah, but he didn't get to center.
Yeah.
What?
So Matt's just going to try to draw around the center guards now. Put one top 4 foot.
Like he took half the 8 and ended up on like the
City does,
TO
yeah.
of posts there. Yeah. I'm thinking similar to draw for hammer, right? Just a hair less. Yeah.
Matt Hall, the skip of this team,
Yeah,
very
just
experienced.
popcorn.
2015 Canada Winter Games silver medalist. And, of course, the skip of the team at the 2017 Canadian National Championship. And he's studying financial math at Laurier. So another Golden
Line's
Hawk
good.
out on the ice.
Line's good.
That's where you went.
It
Is that what
is.
you're telling me?
No bias.
Hard, boys.
But it's a great school.
Yeah.
And they have a
boys,
fantastic
get it there.
program
Hard,
there. And
boys,
actually,
line's good, you got it.
their coach, Matt Wilkinson, is
boys.
the head
Hard, get
coach
it there.
there.
Oh, okay.
Hard, go.
Just a little light here for Matt.
Just slower down that path.
Same thing. I still like that ice. I'll just throw it cleaner. Yeah.
Just slower down that path there.
Yeah. I just gotta throw it. I just set the first one. Yeah.
Based on this, I don't know. I haven't
Yeah,
thrown
yeah.
that this end, but 6 feet? Yeah, I would say 6 feet. I thought I came close to my draw for hammer there.
So that was kind of a missed opportunity for Matt
Yeah,
to sit 2 points.
yeah.
And that'll give John another chance at this shot.
Yeah. 6 to 8, I'd say.
Good. Oh, easy. Wait only. Only if you have to. Whoa, room.
Not sure I'd come this way though, Danielle, because it's tough to get inside the line here.
It is the more difficult way.
Hard!
So he got it.
It just got it, so great shot. It is, they might have just kept playing that way because they've been playing it all end and they're familiar with
Familiar,
it.
yeah.
This side of the ice is not a place they're familiar with yet,
Yeah.
though.
What'd you say, 6
They're
to
about
8?
to find out what it does. And
I
but
think Matt noticed the difference on his first draw was quite a bit short of the house, whereas I think on the other side of the sheet that would have traveled a little farther.
yeah.
A little more curl on this side, playing the intern.
Seems by the ice he's given, has a good grasp on the ice. And I should mention that it's the head coach of Laurier is Matt Wilkinson, who coaches the WILLSEY team. Rob Bushfield is the coach of Team Hall.
Okay.
Definitely more.
So final rock
Room right now.
from Matt Hall, making a draw for a single point, needing
There's
full
rock.
4.
Whoa.
It was pretty close, but just slid too far. And it will be a steal of 1 for the WILLSEY team to kick off scoring here in the second end.
Top 4.
Team Hall will have the hammer going into end number 3.
That was okay line by the end there.
And Mary, I would love to update all of the scores across the sheet, except that the majority of the teams have not put up a score yet. So,
Okay.
so that either indicates that there's most likely a lot of blanks out there, or very minimal scoring. So we'll give a good, thorough update after end 3.
Okay, no worries. I honestly didn't think that they could get
Line's
in there
good.
for a shot anyways, with the way it was running straight.
Line's good. All you. Line's great. No, it'll be okay. Oh.
So I'm thinking after this rock stops, you're going to see Matt put up a corner guard.
Yep. Nice shot, Brennan.
I wouldn't bet against it.
There you go.
And to the same side.
Same side. He likes that side. Maybe
does.
they like interns.
They might also have some
Well,
insight
guys,
knowing
like,
that it
how
curls
straight that
slightly
spot is.
more
I thought,
towards
like,
sheet 8.
I'd say majority, I only
Line's
feel like
okay.
rotations on that.
Line's
Still had to
okay.
carve it in there. I like that though.
On the end, line's okay. Yep.
Well, we've also seen
Yep,
it curl
yep.
nicely toward inside
Good line,
out
good
the
line,
other direction,
good.
though there's definitely consistent curl going towards sheet 8 inside out.
Yeah, both sides though, yeah, Danielle, for inside out are curling really nicely. It's fun to play corner guards on this ice because you can definitely get movement there.
Well, it truly allows you to generate offense as well, because there's nothing more frustrating than
Line's good.
not being able to come around a corner guard.
Yeah.
Line's good.
Many of us have
overcurl
experienced
a
that throughout our curling
Yeah.
careers, and it's
overcurl
hard
a
to
bit.
make a comeback or generate multiple points when you can't make those come-arounds.
Exactly.
So you have to look to more taps, so it's great that they have this ability.
Good.
They did over curl slightly, and they left the side of the rock exposed that's close to the guard. Now, if you're talking tolerance on these shots, wanted a guard, they want it to be tight, but they also need to be concerned about the line, because now you can see that he's being asked for a freeze, and
Line's good.
eventually they could potentially use that to play a hidden roll off of if this freeze is made perfectly and behind their own corner.
Close. Yep. Hard. Hard on the roll. Roll it. Yep. It's good, Dave.
And this is the other advantage they had too. They could play, call the audible on that one. They knew it was up and it was curling, and they needed to sweep it, so they could go and try to use their corner.
Yeah, it was definitely a plan B shot, but a good shot as well. It pushed their opponent's rock off the 4-foot into the back 12. They could probably use that later on in the end.
Close. Clean. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Right.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Hard, you got it. Hard. To the hard. Roll it. Yep. Okay.
So they were playing the hidden roll towards the guard, but didn't quite get enough of a roll. What's interesting, though, is watching the turn that these players are taking. They're taking the out turn despite there being a corner guard there. So that's speaking of knowing the ice on the outside in turn.
Whoa.
Or perhaps not being so comfortable with an inside out throw.
Yep. Yes. Hard. Whoa. Sit down. Nice shot.
Forward. Whoa! Close. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Wilsey.
Come on, Norm.
So we're moving the rocks around here. The whole team wanted to make sure that they're keeping their rock in play, of course, so that the Willsey team is forced to make a play on it. And the Willsey team also has to be careful to make sure they're keeping their rocks in play.
Okay. Yeah. I gave you less, but it's... That was a pretty lively roll for cross face, even with these rocks. That was just a little solid, but yeah. I was worried it might be a little threat.
So now with that rollout, the Willsey team can now use that center line guard, and if they can sink a good one here, Matt Hall will have to be chasing, and I imagine we would see a run back in the near future.
A little tight. Yeah, line. Yeah, line. Yes, line. Hard. Yep. 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 Hard. 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 Hard.
That's that line, Mary, where it's, if it gets in the 4 foot, it really moves.
Yes.
Sticks out on the 8 foot. So they were even questioning if it picked. So keep a close eye on that spot.
It might have been a little light on that too, but it did really go.
Jumped pretty early. I don't know. I feel like it,
And players saying that it picked is something that we've heard before when they're surprised at a spot really moving. We've seen that a couple spots, and Mary had mentioned this off the top, that the ice was straighter in certain on other sheets, so some of the players are surprised when they find some of the curl that is on sheet 7, and there truly are some spots with great curl. So they really have to be conscious to figure out whether or not it was a pick or whether it was just the rock curling more aggressively than they're used to seeing.
forward weight. Forward. I think there'll be a little finish. I think it'll come on.
I agree with that assessment that it should curl up in this spot here. They are throwing right in the 4 foot. As long as you have good release, this should run true.
Seem to be like all there for board, eh? Okay.
So it looked like there was a little outside motion on that release, and it did stay. So now Matt Hall with the opportunity to come around these guards.
Right though.
Could be a skipper's deuce.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the break.
And if the beauty is if he can get around these guards, there's no run back on them, Danielle, because I believe they're slightly staggered down there.
So great line call on that. It started to dive. They picked it up with the sweeping and strained it out. Heavier than they wanted it. They would have liked about 2.5 feet higher in front of the rings, but still, you can see completely buried.
Frozen. But if the line's good, so like 20, 25.
I heard Willsey say 20-25, and I'm thinking he's talking about a 4:20 to 25 split, which is pretty fast ice.
That's very fast ice. It's more looking like a 15-2, 15-5. And just light, but perfect line. This is great sweeping ice, but it does, you do need to get with about 5 feet of your target. So it's, but it fantastic sweeping ice. So even though that wasn't where they wanted it, the fact that they stayed there and blocked that side of the draw, so it's now forcing the Hall team to take a different turn and negotiate a port. They found the port, but the sweepers have backed right off. And that will be just a single for Team Hall, and we are all tied up here on sheet 3. Or on sheet 7 after 3 ends, and it will be Team Willsey with the hammer going into end 4.
Yeah, I thought it was a hairline. I didn't really. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So we are able to update you on the scores across the ice. We have Team Han with a 2-0 lead over Team Steep.
I didn't quite get the ad I wanted on it. 'Cause I
Team
know
Ald
it's
and
so
Team
light.
Little have yet to get on the board. It is been a couple blank ends. Team Marshall is leading 1-0 over Team Leung. It's blanks for Team Wallingford and Team Murphy, as well as Team Fayez and Team Richard. Team Steele is up 2-0 over Team Chemo. And I believe that's Team Warner who is up 1-0 over Team Rosan on sheet 8.
Line's tight. Yeah, yeah, hard line. Gotta go. Really gotta go. Whoa, whoa.
And here's a spot that we really see move, and you can watch the rock just dive towards the guard. It looked like the weight was pretty close, but just that really hard finish there. These players will be paying particular attention to this sheet, and even though this is a big game for both teams, the final will be played on this sheet as well. There's a good chance that the semi could be as well. So being able to figure out where to put the broom will be crucial for both of these teams, not only for this game but for the future games.
We had a burnt rock here on the Hall team.
And that was before the hog line. So the rule is if the rock is burnt between the hog lines, the rock is removed from play immediately. If it happens after the hog line, there are a couple different options that you can the opposition can either leave the rock and every other subsequent rock it touched as is. You can move that rock and any other rocks it touched to where you think you might have gone. Or you can take the rock straight out of play and put any rocks that were touched back.
You want to try that? Hey. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. No. Yep. Yep. Whoa, whoa, no, 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 no.
You can see the new style of sweeping. We learned a lot through our whole broomgate situation with illegal brush heads and directional sweeping. But something we did always know, and we knew this since the 2010 Olympics during their sweeping study, is that the downstroke is stronger than the backstroke. So with that downstroke, you can actually help the rock curl. So it's a little bit of a different technique. So rather than just letting it go and try to curl, you can actually help affect it.
was going to break more. Yeah. I don't know how they got there to finish so much. It's a little thinner, yeah. But I had it. 'Cause we did touch the yellow. Yeah. But like just grazed it. Good hack. Yep. Clean. Clean. Oh, oh, oh. Clean. Yep.
No inside roll on this shot, so Jordy will just try to
hit
hit it on the nose or roll to the left slightly.
Hard roll. Go. Hit.
Rolls are hard to come by on this ice, Mary.
You're right.
Same weight.
We've seen so many nose hits when they're trying for the roll.
Really need to just trust what the spot is doing on the ice, and if you keep getting a nose, well then you need to adjust something, whether it's the broom or the weight, just to be able to bring the sweepers into it. We've seen players be slightly tight, and the brooms can hold it nicely, and the shot is made.
Yeah.
No.
Could look scary, but
I know.
but you gotta trust it.
You do, yeah.
No.
In the famous words of Jocelyn Peterman.
I just thought of that when you said it. Gotta trust it.
Okay. Nice throws. Still a little more pause on that one, but I'm surprised how well it's holding in that center line.
So Matt Hall's team, again, they don't have the hammer. They're going to be hitting this yellow rock, and they were just discussing where they're going to leave it. So they'd ideally like to roll only to about center, maybe partially buried behind the yellow guard. If they roll all the way over underneath one of their, either to the other side of the yellow or underneath their red, that opens it up for a draw for the WILLSEY team.
Yeah, it's not very useful if they roll that far. Even hitting it on the nose or rolling to center line's a good shot. Look at that weight that they've thrown, Danielle. That's exactly what you were talking about. That's how you get a roll.
It isn't. At the end, they had almost overcooked it.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That was, that was hack weight. And again, like, it's scary to throw those when you're playing a hit. Just have to be confident because it got the job done.
Yeah, you see the top teams really using that weight to their advantage. The top in our men's game especially, their majority of the weight they're throwing is board at an open hit, and they just know they have that ability to manipulate the rock with the sweeping. And I mean, these guys out here are not far off of the men's game too. So
exactly.
So if they can get comfortable with it here. they'll be in a good position when they get into men's.
I think all these guys out here, is this all of their last year in the U21? Probably not all of them, but I think a lot of these guys are going to be moving up next year. Matt for sure.
Matt for
Yeah.
sure.
Guys, go big, go big. Got out. Not a great slide.
So needing a big roll here, they're going to have to throw more weight at this rock in order to have enough momentum to get all the way over. And this time they're wanting to bury directly behind that yellow guard.
I'm so cold. It just took me longer.
And they were playing it pretty aggressively for the roll, but now this opens the door for the WILLSEY team. They can play a throw through, and they had a quick discussion, and you could see there was very intentional placement of that broom so that they could get a read on the ice. And with this throw through, Team WILLSEY is maintaining the hammer going into the fifth, and we still have ourselves a tied game where 1-1 through 4 ends. An update across the sheets. Team Steep has tied it up with Team Han and scores 2-2 after 3 ends of play. Team Ald is leading Team Little 2-0, and again, that's a crucial game because the winner of that game goes to the semi. Team Marshall and Team Leung are they're tied up 1-1, and that's after 3 ends. There was a blank in the 3rd end. Big game there. If Leung can win it, they will go directly to the semi. Wallingford is up 1-0 over Murphy. Big game. The winner of that goes directly to the final. And it has been 3 blanked ends on the Fayez and Richard game. For the Steel and Kiemel game, Team Steel had taken the deuce in the 1st end, and they have stolen a point in the 3rd end, so they're now up 3-0. And Team Warner has taken a deuce in end number 3, so they're up 2-1 over Team Rozan. And Team Rozan only playing with 3 players. One of their players is out with an injury. And back to our feature sheet. If you're just joining us, we have Team WILLSEY taking on Team Hall, and the winner of this game is going directly to the final. The losing team would be playing in the semifinal. And pending the results of the other games across the sheets that we just mentioned, they could be waiting for someone to come through tiebreakers or just through the semi. So it is Team Willsey with the hammer, and you can see they were seeing too. They've got that nice one in behind the guard, and they also had that draw out to the side. They're wanting to keep the play out to the side for a little while, and if they can manage to do that and maintain that, they should be able to get a deuce that way.
And then Matt's just going to keep hitting the Willsey rock out in the wings.
Both teams are great on time, so each team starts with 38 minutes of thinking time. And one team, we have the Willsey team at 27 minutes and the Hall team at 26 minutes. And that's even despite having some rocks in play.
It is. And I did notice, Danielle, how quick they are out of the hack. In the hack and out of the hack.
Yeah.
As soon as the broom's down, they're pretty much kicking out of the hack.
And truly, that makes all the difference in the world, especially when you're talking about thinking time.
Yeah.
And that was a great roll by the Hall team to draw the play into the center. So now the Willsey team can't use that strategy of putting the rock towards the outside. Now they're going to have to look at playing into the center. And Connor Laws is going to go down and have a discussion with the skipper.
A quick one.
Yeah, these guys don't mess around when it comes to their time.
No, I love it.
You know what? That's not only good for being on time clocks and pace of play, but also just for your mental mindset during the game.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping it quick, you're not leaving yourself time to overthink.
Yes. It's a good call that Connor made for his skip. Just peel that guard. Things are getting too congested in the middle.
Yeah, like you mentioned, they have hammer here, so getting the rocks out of the middle of the ice is definitely a good call.
I mean, it would be tempting to go in because you're already sitting 1 point. You have the hammer. You know, you're thinking, okay, I want to sit 2 points here. But you can't sit 2 points by going to the wing. So I really like that call.
And a good run back here from Jeff Wanless. No, they would have ideally liked to have stuck it, but even even the fact that they got rid of the yellow rock and left their rock in a position to guard that rock was huge. So they do have a couple options here. The first option was the hit and roll on. Have the run back. And you can bet they're not going to freeze because they have a lot of respect for the Halls team and their ability to throw the run backs.
Nice shot.
Beautiful, and left them with a corner.
Mm-hmm. That's going to come around that guard.
This is a crucial shot here because if he happens to come up light and over curl or go through the house, it looks like there might be a split available on that rock, Mary.
Mm-hmm.
They jumped the rock right out of Matt's hand, thinking he was a little tight. Strained it right out. You can see the nice finish it really gets, especially once it gets to the center. So half open, but great shot by Team Hall. Even though they didn't get fully buried, what's great about that shot is that now with the run back for Team WILLSEY, if they make the run back perfectly, they have to be careful about their angle. So if they hit it on the high side, they're popping their rock out. So they've got to make sure that they're precise with this run back. Trying to hit it only a little off nose. And that's where it hit just a little too much on the high side and popped it out. So Team Hall, they are now able to play that hit and roll in behind the corner. Not very much ice here, Mary.
Mm-hmm. Especially, you know, what we were talking about, throwing nice control weight on these hits to get the rolls. With that ice, it looks like he's throwing full hit weight.
And he caught it.
Nice roll.
But I think what we both observed on that was the way Matt throws it, and he throws a little in-out. So with that, they're brooming for it,
Yes.
essentially.
Yeah. They take less ice, but when he releases the rock, Danielle, it's not actually on the broom. He starts out on the broom, and then he tips it out. And he does that on purpose. He knows he does that, and he brooms himself for it. It's kind of like what the Holman team does.
Mm-hmm. And that's a characteristic of teams that spend a lot of time on curly ice, because when you have ice with tons of movement, you're taking a draw the button in mid-12, you have to have that kind of release in
Yes.
order for your break point to be further down. If you don't, you're going to have an enormous amount of curl, more than you need, and the rocks are less predictable, and it's harder to make shots, really.
So WILLSEY having to draw 4 foot for a point here, the 5th end. Makes no mistake. So with that draw, we have the WILLSEY team up 2-1. At the end of the 5th end, they're going to go into their 5th end break now. We're going to just take a short break here, and we will be back in the 6th end of play.
Actually, that yellow that I was pointing out, I realized it's when they're talking.
Oh, is it?
I thought it was.
Thoroughly unforgettable performance. Thoroughly unforgettable performance. Thoroughly unforgettable performance. Thoroughly unforgettable performance.
more than usual.
And here we are, back for the last half of this game. Again, the score is 2-1 for the WILLSEY team. Matt Hall has a hammer in the 6th.
Line's good. Wait only.
If you're just joining us for this broadcast, we have a crucial game out on the ice on our
Whoa,
feature game.
room.
The winner of
Just on
this
title
game
here.
goes directly to the men's final.
Joe, if you can.
A couple other crucial games out here.
Yep.
We have
Okay, good,
the
Dave.
winner
Good throw.
of the Murphy and Wallingford game on the women's side goes to the final. Also, we have a few other games out here that are also very crucial. Team Leung is currently playing Team Marshall, and Team Marshall, if Team Leung can beat Team Marshall, they are into the semi. A loss plus a win by Team Richard, who's also on the ice right now, would equal a tiebreaker. A loss for Team Leung plus a loss for Team Richard would equal Team Leung directly into the semifinal. And on the women's side, again, we mentioned a winner of Wallingford and Murphy goes to the final. Team Little is playing Team Ald, and the winner of that game goes to the semi. The loser is out. And if Team Steel wins their game out on the ice, there will be a tiebreaker on the women's side.
Hard, gotta go. Yep.
And I stand corrected, Danielle. We had talked about who's aging out on this these two teams, and people are pretty quick to help us out here with this information. So apparently the only fellow on this sheet of ice that is aging out is Jeff Wanless. The entire team of the WILLSEY, they are all aging out this year. So we stand corrected, and thank you for that information. I was positive Matt was aging out this year, but I was wrong.
Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Ah.
Well, these teams have all the players on these sheets have been in the game for so long. Sometimes it's hard to believe that they're still so young.
Yes, yeah. What I am excited to see is that some of these great young players moving up to the adult play.
And we hope they do. We've seen a trend in the past couple years that that less and less players are moving up. They're maybe taking a few years of break to focus on their studies or focus on their work, establishing themselves, and then they're getting back into the game. Or some of them just never come back, which is unfortunate because there's so much talent, as you can see out here, and you'd hate to lose that.
Yeah, I would hate to see these guys give this up after their junior career. And I can see taking a couple of years off because school is most important. Get yourself established, but hopefully they all stick to it.
Well, part of the reason for that change too is that the change in the age for under 21. So Ontario aligned with the national level and changed the birth date. So you have a few players who would have been aging out and didn't. But the other one is that there's simply so much more work and so much more money that has to go into it to compete at the top level. And some of the players just at this point in their lives either don't quite have the means to do it, or like I said, just need to focus on work and school.
Heel. Whoa. Okay.
A little bit early, yep. Yep. Yeah, hard, guys. Hard, hard, you got it, hard.
Team Willsey's in a good
Come on,
situation
hard,
here
hard, you got it, you got it, you got it, you got it, you got it. Push,
right now, not having the hammer.
push, push, push.
Just going to keep guarding this up, but don't want the guards too close. Because these guys are good at making run back doubles and triples.
Well, that's about as far away as you could possibly get it from this
Yeah,
rock.
that might be a bit too long. Matt's now got a chance to get at this one in the house.
What?
Can't see a whole lot of that rock.
Cock. Close. No, no. Joey. Okay, Dave, Dave. Dave, yep. Hard. Hard. Hard.
So is it a good switch of calls there? They were aiming to hit the top one, but swept it by for the second one. Unfortunately, they didn't get shot out of it, but they removing it from the top four was a great start.
Oh, clean, yep. Yep. Oh, clean. Yep. Hard.
Normal.
Seems as though there wasn't full agreement on hitting that rock.
Yeah, I think maybe the guys at the other end want to maybe play a little more aggressively and just play the draw. I don't know. I am 50-50 on it.
It will finish with the outturn, but you'd also have to be careful about where you leave it. So
Close. Joey. Okay. It's fine.
Go for the roll.
You just hate to leave it there because you know the other team is going to try hard for the roll, although we have seen how hard it is to get rolls on this ice.
that's true.
Good throws.
And well, the other thing with the hit too is you're eliminating the opposition rock, so that's putting less pressure on the skip to have to throw against a bundle, even if those rocks are towards the outside of the rings.
I agree. Sometimes, people will wonder why a skip is calling a shot, but
exactly.
it's probably because the skip has a plan, knows that he may have to draw against three, and he may not be comfortable with that. So he might, change his strategy accordingly.
Just bite top 4, try and get it as buried as we can, but...
Let's listen to them, see what they
Yeah,
have to say.
exactly.
I wasn't expecting it to jump.
Around there, do you think?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's what Connor said after. He said it was actually.
Yeah, just bite top 4.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that technically. 'Cause it was on.
So Danielle, even getting this rock
Top 4,
half around that one
bite
on the
top 4,
12
half
foot
buried.
poses a
If
problem
he tries to pick it, it should
for
jam.
the Willsey team, as if they try to go for it, they could definitely
Speed's
jam
good
it.
here?
The ones on the back.
Yeah, I would say that they probably don't even want to bury it fully, because if that's the case, that you can see that yellow rock was partially exposed, and that's a very long guard. So the Willsey team would be able to come and play a tap back on the nose right to it. So probably don't want to tuck this one fully behind.
You can go. Line's good, you can go. Line's good, boys, get it there. Get it there, yep, line. Gotta go. Hard, boys, come on. Hard, boys, go, 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 go. Go, you got it, go, 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 go. Shoot, sorry, boys.
They got some solid sweepers, but they're not miracle workers.
Yeah.
So a great line on that shot.
We just play this draw tight.
And maybe that is why Matt had hit a couple of shots ago. He's not, 100% confident with draw weight.
Or he's playing to this, but.
I hope he finds it for the next shot,
He hasn't.
because he's going to be drawing against a few.
Sure
Maybe
do
just
too.
play for here.
Well, the tough thing about wherever he's going to have to throw this draw is it's going to be a path that they're not familiar with. So basically, the Willsey team needs to make sure that wherever they put this rock, they make it tougher for him, and they don't leave him anything.
Yeah. So I like that. Yep. Yeah, air for sweeping like just full 12 though. Full 8's okay, you can't nose.
So they're wanting to block up this hole. You heard doing more for a full 12.
A little soft. Oh. Yep.
Hard! Hard! Gotta go line!
Whoa. Yep, yes! Hard!
And there's that spot, Mary.
Yeah, exactly. Once it gets inside the 4-foot line, it really goes hard.
I don't get why we got off it at all though. I don't get why we got off it though,
He
like
really
at any
didn't have
point.
the weight, did he, Danielle?
He didn't. I think the weight came off it when it curled, and that was unexpected for the sweepers. But with you, it didn't have the weight they were looking for
I was
initially.
okay, like for line out of my hand.
And
yeah.
saw Matt indicate about possibly following it down through the hole, but that is a
It's
tough
still
board
breaking
now.
early.
So this is much better path, even though they have to go further out.
Yeah, they only need full 8 here.
Okay, so you
So-
just need a couple feet more than that.
Only.
Only.
You're laughing at me. Only. Well, I'd rather that than have to draw the button again.
Just a cool draw to the 8-foot against 4.
The good news is he just threw it. It was light.
Better, line's good. Line's good.
Pardon me.
Line's good, make sure.
They're
Line's good.
panicking here a bit. I think they think it's light.
Line's good, boys. Get it there. Line's good, boys. Get it there. Hard, boys. Come on. Come on, guys. Go. Get it there. Drag it. Drag it. Heads down. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go.
And
Steal a 2, possibly 2, possibly 3. Did you see the call, Danielle?
looked like it might have been
Sorry, boys, I
2.
thought I gave you a lot more there.
So that was a steal of 2 for the Willsey team. So they now have taken a 4-1 lead over Team Hall after 6 ends. And Team Hall will have the hammer going into end number 7. So across the ice, looking at the other games, Team Steep and Team Han are all tied up after 5 ends of play at 3-all. Team Ald is up 4-3 over Team Little. Team Marshall and Team Leung are both tied up 3-all. There's a low-scoring game in the Wallingford and Murphy game. It's only 1-all after 5 ends. Another low-scoring game, 3 blanked ends to kick things off, followed by 2 singles. Team Fayez, Team Richard.
Clean it.
It's 3-2 for Team Steele over Team Kimal. And Team Warner is leading Team Rosan 4-2.
Nice.
And again, the score on our sheet is 4-1 for Team Willsey.
So what do you expect to see this end, Mary?
I expect to see Matt calling some corner guards, some come arounds, freezes. What do you expect?
Lots of that and a lot of peels from Team Willsey.
Yeah, for sure.
But you're going to see Matt's team using every single rock and play to their advantage. So, including the rock that's currently on the button. And as a matter of fact, Team Willsey actually wanted that rock to be more in a 4-foot position because now with it being on the button on the tee line, it's a good rock to freeze to or to tap back.
Bit of room.
And this shot right here is very important. The second lead
Top
rock.
12.
Sometimes we see they throw it a little heavier on their second one, end up tapping the first rock behind the tee line. Just wants to freeze this one top. Front of the tee line.
Back line.
Now Matt could put up another corner, because he does need a few points. Don't mind this, just has to stick around.
That's the key.
The key is to stick around, yeah.
Whoa. Yep. Gotta go. Hard, gotta go. Gotta go line. Hard, yep. It's okay, baby. It's good.
So even though they didn't remove the yellows from play, actually not a bad shot at all.
Yeah, I think that's a great shot.
Left their rock up in front and jiggled around the others. So there are now two more rocks in the back area that you can play with.
Yep. Clean. Yep. Clean. Nice.
I'm kind of thinking that Matt maybe should have put up that second corner guard. Because, you know, now he's kind of being forced to play into the house. And, you know, his opponents are such good hitters. It's going to be hard to generate a multiple end without guards in play.
Definitely is. I would be saying at this point, I'm on the fence about that, to be honest, because if he makes that shot well there, they really only need 2 points this end. 3 would really be a bonus, and to get 2, you really only need 1 guard. So I'm on the fence. I don't mind what he played, but in this situation, I might be throwing another guard.
Yeah.
So now they do have their rock that's up in the top, but it's not exactly the best guard position.
No. Mind you, I don't think these guys are going to miss any peels. So I guess you kind of have to start playing into the house and hoping for a jam.
It's very rare that you see a flash on a peel
Yeah.
in the under 21 men's.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh! Whoa! Whoa!
Possible
Whoa!
double here.
Okay.
And actually, unfortunately, that's now going to help the Hall team where it rolled to, and you see.
Yes. It's really going to help them.
Sorry?
I don't think Matt could put his broom down there fast enough.
Oh, they
He's
get
pretty
across.
excited to see this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good situation when you're down and you have hammer.
Room!
I thought the other way better.
Back 4!
Yeah.
Room! 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 Stay close, Jeff! 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 I know! Jeff! Yes! Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay.
Just a little too heavy.
was
Didn't want to
trying to
tap
get
that
you
out of
to
the rings,
chip
but
it
it is still in play, so it is still potential jam.
It's that inside out that you like to talk about, Mary, and how fast it was. So they were sweeping it right off the bat for the majority of the sheet, so the sweepers were even fooled by the speed.
Again, Danielle, I'm not sure how many people catch on to that. That it is almost always quicker going to the wings.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
we haven't seen many
Whoa,
teams
whoa.
really catch on to it here. That's
No,
for
we
sure.
haven't.
Yep. 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 Hard. 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 Hard roll. Go. 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 Yes. Okay.
Control, or do you want to just tap it?
I think he's throwing control weight at this.
This is that spot that they had thrown before with Matt. And he
Yes.
has the in out.
We'll see how Jeff throws this.
Whoa! Whoa!
He has a bit of a straighter release,
Dave. Gotta go!
but I'm just not
Gotta go,
crazy about
Dave.
that weight,
Hard.
Danielle.
Yeah.
Hard.
You know?
Yeah, you really need to bring it down, and it's, like you said at the beginning of the end, it's crucial to keep those rocks around.
Right. And I would have liked to just call a tap on that. Just tap it to the back 12.
Now you can see the rest of this end is going to play out as target practice.
Clean. Clean. Yep. 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 Hard. 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 Clean. Clean. Sleep.
You know what? For the whole team, that would mean that a blank here, they would have hammer in the even ends. So, but I stand corrected right now. Matt's wanting to go for the deuce still here.
He is, yes. Well, there's still 3 rocks to come on, his thirds and his 2, so sometimes, yeah, I know where you're going with that, Danielle. It's like, okay, I probably don't have enough time or rocks left to get a multiple end, so let's just blank it out and go to the next.
I mean, it's not that it's not possible, but here, even if you make the perfect freeze, with how active these striking bands are and how much weight these guys can throw accurately, say it's not a strong chance that it
Line's good, wait only.
would stay
Freeze
around
it.
even with the perfect
Line's
freeze.
good. Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard, boys. Get it here. Get it here. Go, 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 go. Okay.
Yeah, I like the out. I like
I mean, there's always a chance when you do this way, and there's still a good chance that even by going for this, that if things go south, they can still blank it.
Yeah, true.
And to have the confidence to call that shot is huge as well.
It is, yes.
Pardon me? Yeah. Pick. Oh.
And pick clean out. Oh, it's still a chance for a skipper's deuce. And I think what Matt's thinking here, if you can get 2 in this end, that will give him 1 more end that he can look for a steal. Because if they happen to blank this end, if it doesn't go the way they planned, they take 2 and 8. They'd have to either hold, they'd have to hold the Willsey team to single in 9 and take 2 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that ended up basically where I threw it, eh?
Line's good. Line's fine. Clean, clean. Whoa. Clean, clean it.
So all is very doable in this case, but it's definitely an uphill battle that Team Hull has out here with the level of play of both of these teams. And all respect to the Willsey team, who's gone undefeated here at this championship.
Flop below the center. Yep. Oh. Oh, clean. Yep, yep.
And again, to save time, Matt Hall's already in the hack, and Jeff's ready to call his shot. This is the most time we've ever seen on the clocks, Mary. We have one team at 17 minutes and the other at 16 minutes. So,
Wow.
and they're already practically at the end of the 7th.
Yeah, they're moving into the 8th end. Wow, that's impressive.
Whoa. Clean, clean. Clean.
It truly goes to show, just jumping in the hack, how much that can speed it up.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it up.
All right, so a blank by Team Hull in the 7th end, and it's Team Willsey still with a 4-1 lead. Team Hull will have the hammer going into end number 8. If we look across the ice, an update. Still 3-all for Team Steep and Team Hahn. Team Ald took a 2-ender in the 5th end, and they're up 4-3 over Team Little. It was a steal of 2 by Team Leung in end 6, and they're leading Team Marshall 5-3.
I think it's important to make the pocket at the very least.
Team Wallingford and Team Murphy game was tied up at the break, but that was a 2-ender taken by Team Murphy's, and they lead 3-1 after 6 ends of play. Team Fayez and Team Richard were also tied at 1-1. Team Richard picked up a 3-ender in end 6, so they now lead 4-1. Team Steele and Team Kimmel. Team Steele is on a roll with their steals, and they are now up 5-2 over Team Kimmel.
Good throw, Davey.
And on the 8th sheet, we have Team Warner leading Team Rosan 4-3.
Line's good. Whoa, whoa, wait only, whoa, whoa. Wait only. Clean. Yep. Whoa, wait only. Clean. Clean. Yep. Yep, 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 yep. Hard, 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 hard. Go, 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 hard. Nice pair.
Whoa! Yep! Yep! Line's good! Line's good! Yep! Hard! Hard, you got it, boys. Yep, 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 yep. Hard on the roll. Roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it. Yep, 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 yep. It's a great shot, Davey.
High control.
So again, you see Team Hull just manipulating the rocks in play, so they're playing tap backs lightweight, and again, sticking around is crucial. They really want to try to hide behind their corner, but sticking around is huge.
Hard! Hard!
And this one might be on the corner.
Whoa, whoa. Okay.
Actually, not a bad result, because now both of their rocks are above tee.
That's okay. That's good. Just did it in the reverse order. So.
Not something you generally call, but but
Yeah, a little soft.
not bad. So Team Hull looking to put a guard up right in front of the red.
Line's good. 2. Line's gonna be good.
I don't want this too
Line's
tight,
gonna be
Danielle.
Whoa, whoa, line's good. Line's fine. It's good, Joe.
Those are some powerful brushers.
Oh, I know.
When he put the broom down for that, I was thinking it was too tight.
Tight ice?
We know that it goes there, but honestly, the way that they jumped the rock and could manipulate it, it's. I mean, Matt knows, and he's been brooming them well, but those brushers are so strong.
Gotta go.
Now there's a mistake you don't see every day from these players.
I mean, both teams have been throwing so well. It's only been one or two shots here that has been the game story and the difference. Especially the WILLSEY team is really on their game today. You can tell why they're undefeated. They're just relentless.
Yeah. So what's Matt calling here? He's coming around that guard?
I believe that's what I saw, top 8. And I see what you mean, though. It looks like tight ice for coming around the guard from what we've seen. But
it does.
Going to see these sweepers work their magic.
6. Line's good. Yep. Line's good. 6. Line's. Hey, Dave. No. Line's great. Line's great. Jeff. Yep. Whoa. Okay.
Couple feet past, you could see on release there was that outward motion again, and that's what really held it out there even without the sweeping.
So decision time here for the WILLSEY team.
I like this.
He rips the guard. We just hit this one, right?
Yeah. I think we just feel this.
I think we just.
Great discussion, and believe they came to the right conclusion there, because where the Hull rock is, the way it's behind.
On the high side, like
the yellow rock in the top 4. It makes it very difficult to take out and remove while avoiding that rock.
No, no, no.
Oh dear, I think we have a miss here, Danielle. Oh my goodness.
Perhaps we jinxed them.
Oh my goodness.
These are the first 2 back-to-back shots we've seen missed, I think, all game from the WILLSEY team.
Really uncharacteristic misses. Now that sets Matt up for a 3-ender.
Jeff, they are shot.
So as you heard Matt say, yellow is shot rock, but they have patience. They're going to ignore that, and this is, like you said, how you generate that 3-ender. They can sink a good one in here in the top. They don't want to go too deep, just top 8.
Yeah.
Force WILLSEY to make a play on some of the rocks, perhaps run it back. Another miss, and they could even be looking at even a 4-ender.
Mm-hmm.
Line's good. 6, line's good. Wait only. Line's good. 6. Line's good.
Don't want to be deep here, or else take it right back.
Okay, Joe, if anything. It's good, Jeff. Good.
So this rock is exposed and shot rock, so good call here to hit it.
Whoa, whoa, off.
He'd like to sit second shot here as
Yep,
well,
yep. Whoa. Connor,
without rolling too far towards his other one.
hard.
So
So that will set up a little double here for Matt.
nose double.
You don't have to take it. If you go nose, it should go by.
You talk tolerance on this shot, and
High.
you talk tolerance on
Yeah,
this shot.
yeah.
You want to make sure that you're, if anything, on the inside of the rock, so that if you miss the rock, you roll in, as opposed to hitting high side and rolling out.
No worries. Try and slap it.
Yep, yep. Yep. Whoa. Yes. Yes. Hard. Hey, we're rolling. Yep, yep. Hey.
That was the way to miss it on tolerance.
Too bad, he would have really liked that double.
Well, that would have put them in a really great spot for 3.
Normal.
It's okay. Yeah, it looks like it.
Normal.
I kind of like the heavier one.
Close. Yep. Oh. Yep. 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 Whoa. 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 Get up.
That was a beauty. Because right now there's a double available, but if they,
Can you ever make it to do that?
in order to do that, you got to throw some low
Probably
weight
not,
at it
eh?
to stick around.
I think you got to make this, hope he misses, and then, well, he probably just does that if we do that. I think so. I think we got to do this. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I like
Control?
that. Sure. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Yep. Okay, just control.
Rolls in front. Try and like hit and stick. Full 12 over there.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa! Yes! No! No! Whoa! 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 Yes! Whoa! Roll it this way. Roll it this way. Come on.
They got stuck in between on that call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like control. Control.
Oh, it just picked.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was looking real good, but
Yeah. Just control. Oh.
clean.
No.
Clean. Whoa. Oh.
I think you can make this double, Danielle.
Board weight and an
I think
out
that
turn.
was actually a little
Yeah.
big. It was probably a little big.
With what though? Like control? Normal?
Ah, just not a great slide. Yeah.
A bit
I was
less
kind
than
of carrying,
two-thirds.
sliding a bit wide.
Whatever you like,
Just
whatever
came
way.
with me.
You can make it with board. You don't have to just have to
Yeah.
push on. It was down, but I thought the weight was
It wasn't
I
down.
was going to say good board.
Yeah.
What? I was going to say you got to throw good board. Like somewhere between board control. Yeah, let's go for it. Just control.
Okay.
I think it's about 2/3, Matt. I think half is too much.
I'm with Jeff.
Well,
A
yeah,
solid
not half.
board
Half is
weight
too thin.
or just
Take
a
half,
down
2/3.
control is what you want. But
You just want to kiss it.
tell that skipper is feeling more confident with more of a controlled weight. Yeah, you don't want to throw any more than control at this, though.
No, because we've seen, like we were saying, the rocks are so
It's
lively.
like control, like a thick half or 2/3. If we nose it, we get our one, like. What?
Well, that's probably also running through his head right now too. He wants to ensure over one. If they give up a single, that's pretty much game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's like gripper marks, what I'm seeing.
Whoa! Easy.
Close!
Easy.
Yep!
Yes! Yes!
Oh, really good shot.
Beautiful shot. And that is a big 2 points for Team Hall in the 8th end. And they are closing the gap here, but it is Team Willsey with a 4-3 lead over Team Hall. And Team Willsey will have the hammer in end number 9. What a shot. And that was clutch.
It was a clutch shot. Like we discussed, he couldn't throw big weight at that because there was no way he was going to stick around.
And that was that upboard, down control, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
type of weight.
And again, you know, it shows such an advantage when you have such strong sweepers because, you know, he didn't take very much ice for that shot. And they pounded it halfway down the sheet and
Line's good.
perfect shot.
Wait only. Does not need to curl. It doesn't need to curl.
So quick update across the ice on the other games. We have Team Han, steal of 2 in number 6, and they're leading 5-3 over Team Steep.
Great line call there, Jeff.
Hell of a shot, man. That was
In the Team Little and Alt game, it was Team Little who responded with the deuce in N6, and they now lead Team Ald 5-4. And remember, the winner of that game goes to the women's semifinal. Team Leung had stolen 2 points in N6, and they are up 5-3. Well, it looks like actually they just hung it. They stole another point in N7. They're up 6-3 over Team Marshall, and if Team Leung can hang on to their lead, they will be going straight into the semifinal.
yeah. Okay.
The Murphy-Wallingford game, Team Wallingford just took a single point in N7, but it is Team Murphy with the lead, 3-2, and the hammer in N8.
Okay, we could do that if you want.
Team Fayez is making a comeback. They popped a deuce in N7. It's Team Richard with a 4-3 lead in that game.
Okay, we gotta go.
Team
Hey, line's
Steel
good.
stole another point in N7,
Line's
and they are up
good. Line's
5-2.
We're light. Line's
And
great.
in the Rosen Warner game,
Line's great.
it's
Freeze
Team
it.
Warner with
Come on.
a
Line's
5-3
great. Freeze it,
lead
you got
over
it.
Team
Come on.
Rozan.
Hard, keep going. Go. Okay, good sweep. That's good.
Good shot.
So Team Willsey, they keep up 2 points there, but they're still in a
Where?
good situation.
Where?
They're one up with hammer,
Where?
playing the 9th.
Back four.
They would kind of either like to force or take 2 points in this
Try and tip
end.
it. Oh, it's got a curl. Oh boy. Okay.
Even if they took a single point here, being up 2, even without the hammer, is still a pretty strong situation. And if you look at the stats over the years, over a variety of competition, the stats are on your side for being up 2 going into the final end.
Yeah.
Without hammer.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's not to say that anything else can't
Oh, yeah.
happen, but
Okay.
because that's the beauty of this game.
Yes. Yeah, I'm never overly comfortable being up 2 without. I'd rather
No?
be up 3.
While we're making requests. In that case, I'm quite comfortable up, 7. Oh.
Then again, I'm talking senior curling.
We're good. There's still room. You can wait. Freeze us anything.
You can wait. We're bouncing it.
Bounce it, Jeff. Bounce it off. Don't leave a double.
Okay, well, we're
Yep. Okay.
So unfortunately, with the placement of this rock, they've got pretty much the whole rock exposed, and they've set it up for a pretty much automatic double.
Oh, no. No. Never.
Well, apparently I need to eat my words. It's an automatic double as long as you make contact with at least half a rock, or even a third is shooting at least out. But that's, again, it's a tricky spot there. You put any outward and it's just going to run.
Yeah.
We'll take it as far as possible,
Like, just
but you're
back
almost
four.
nose tapping, though.
Back
Nose
4, back
tap.
8.
Same weight, no less.
Matt would just love to
Hey,
tap this red rock frozen onto the back yellow rock.
Okay. Weight's good.
Room.
Weight's good. Yep, Davey. A little heavy.
Hard, Dave.
It's heavy.
Hard,
It's
Dave.
heavy. It's heavy.
Come on, Dave.
It's heavy.
Come on, David. Hard. Okay,
And again,
that's fine.
the spot that can run,
That's fine.
but not bad. It froze to, or almost froze to the back rock, and they kept it in play and didn't set up another double.
Okay.
Even though they aren't shot rock, Team Hall needs a guard up. They're going to be able to tap that red rock at some point, but now is not the time. Or you're still on Vice's rocks.
Firm weight and played it tight to guard. But it's okay. Well, I was trying to that part of that. It's not like
Line's
I was
good.
playing it in that rock, but that's not like
Room.
like if they ever make the tap, that rock's probably
You're gonna have to
helping
finish
us,
it,
right?
buddy.
So I don't mind kind of that.
You gotta bring it over.
Where are we?
Bring it
Freeze
over.
it.
He's not
Freeze
done
it.
yet. I don't
Freeze
think he's
it.
coming in until-
No, it's not in.
Line's great for a freeze. Okay, that's fine.
Really brought that tight, but what they needed to do is
It
just
seemed to just
let
fall.
it breathe a little and then sweep it to curl at the end after the break point.
Yeah, I don't mind talking about it.
That's a timeout called by Team WILLSEY,
But we can just
calling their coach
Could just
Matt
rip it.
Wilkinson.
rip this.
And the first time out of the game.
And we're over on sheet 7 at the Andale Golf and Curling Club, and the coaches
I
have
don't
to
know.
enter the ice
You
from
gotta get
sheet
this one
1.
pretty thin
So
to get into that.
they have a team has a few minutes to discuss. So we'll listen in.
What do you like?
I don't mind that going across face. How hard is it to hit this hole? Because we hit it too thin, we might get that.
Yeah.
That not it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we just play it cross face into that. I think we try to clear those two. With my run. Yeah.
I like opening up the front.
Yeah, it's bad. I don't like. Yeah. Like my only other thought, like this is tough, but
No, I don't like that.
yeah. Yeah.
My instinct was the double, and if we're tight, we get rid of the top. Like, do you make the double if you get by here? Which double?
Oh, this
8 foot onto the 8 foot.
that thin double there. It's pretty thin.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's thinner from here than it is inside. It's out of that. Like, the rock is going to hurt us. That red rock's going to hurt us.
Yeah, we were thinking cross face double there.
I don't hate that. If we're thin, we get that right across
Yeah.
the top.
Yeah.
Does everyone like it?
I think so.
Okay. Oh, well.
Yeah.
And after all that chat, they've decided to play played the double on the top two red rocks. So the concern was the yellow rock at the back, jamming it there. There's a couple ways they can jam this rock. They can jam it either straight back. They can jam it by sending the red across the face over onto the red on the side, which would then jam back on the yellow. So they've got to be careful when throwing this.
Yeah, they do. I'm not 100% sold on it, Danielle. I don't know.
I'm just not seeing many other great options.
Yeah, well,
I mean, you could play that double on the red in the top four onto the side.
Whoa. Whoa, whoa. Wow.
Not necessarily a good thing, but not the most horrible result either.
no.
They avoided the jams. Crucial shot. Jeff wants to make sure there's no debris underneath his rock.
It's fine.
Line's good. Line's good. Yep. Okay, over and off. It's all right, Jeff. It's a good result.
Jeff felt like it was grabbing, that there was something underneath of it.
Yep.
And it overcurled. Again, still a guard.
You like board?
They both
Or
just
hack?
ran completely differently.
Yeah, I like hack.
you threw the
Now
ball.
go after the one on the top 8 foot.
That is their most dangerous rock. They've
yeah,
got to
no
avoid the
worries.
jam, of course, but
This
they...
isn't easy
Yeah,
for them.
I mean, even if they do jam it and it's shot at the back, it's still behind the tee line.
I think he, if he can make this just a little inside roll, he can get his 2 points in this then.
Oh, absolutely.
Clean.
They've just got to watch that jam.
Yeah.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yep, 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 yep. Yep, yep, yep. Hard, 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 hard.
A little overcurl.
Yep, 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 yep.
That's a nice result anyway.
Okay,
Plan B.
just a little down, eh?
Just make this freeze for now.
Yeah.
Then just deal with what comes after. Right there?
Yeah, I know.
Commentate, he was down on that shot, but you could see it's still a good result. You can use the brushers and they can hold the line and still get something
Yeah.
good out of the shot.
So one.
All right, let's put this right
It
on
does
the
open the
face.
door here, though, for Matt to freeze on that one.
Yep.
On the back 4 foot.
Line's good. No give. No give. Line's good.
He's going for plan B. So it was a good call on the part of Vice Jeff Wanless to recognize that they were not anywhere near where they were trying to do, but they could do something with it. So got him on early and got the rolling behind at
Like
least.
if we just do that.
Yeah, that unfortunately for Matt, that was a golden opportunity for him to either steal or force in this end. Just struggling with his draw.
Feel the guard.
I think also.
Feel the guard, where does he go?
I mean, we talked about how he has some outward motion on his release.
Yeah, he goes here. We hit this, we're guaranteed hammer time. Guaranteed to get hammer time. This shot. This is a shot. At least hammer time. You might have something off this.
I don't mind keeping it there in case he comes frozen, and then we can come off. Oh, I don't like I don't like right there. I think we got to move a bit off.
The idea of at least being guaranteed to get hammer time.
Yeah, that's true. Okay,
But this is sick right here.
let's hit.
That's why I want to kill it. I don't like being up here. He plays the double. No, that's not just kill it here. And then if he's frozen. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, let's just hit it. Sit there.
Because there's no pocket if you're right there. You roll a quarter, there might be like no room for it to go.
Yeah. Because then if he comes frozen here, it just goes right into that.
Okay, so you like nose?
I think nose is our best bet.
Yeah. Okay, control him.
Yeah.
Ahead of the other yellow rock that's in the back four.
Is it tightened up a hair, or is Jordy just light? Is it tightened up a hair, or is Jordy just light? Okay.
Picture.
Yep. Whoa. Clean. Clean it. Yep. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty much nose.
Just bump it like 2 inches right on the nose. Yeah.
So if they're bumping it just 2 inches, really all they need to do is
We just want like back 4,
back
back
not,
8 here.
He called back 4,
Yeah.
back 8, but actually they only really need to put on the amount of weight that they need to bump it, which is just barely back 4.
Yeah, they just need to push this back a couple of inches.
Line's good.
They want to be shot rock here.
Yep.
Line's good.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa!
Wait only. Clean it. Whoa. Yep. Yes.
No!
Yes. Get the angle. Hard. Low.
Perfect. There's nothing more
Great
you can say
sweep.
about that.
Yeah.
Like that.
We're going to see a replay of that shot.
Either that or just come to it, but do the hold.
So he just punches
Yeah,
it back
I
enough.
like this.
Gets the roll half around that guard.
Firm. I like firm.
So they're playing it in off of their own rock. Guy hit this fairly thin to
Yep.
punch over the yellow.
Give it to you guys.
So what do you think he can get out of this, Danielle? If he makes this, he's going to get a couple?
I think so. We'd need to see the angles again down there, but I think they can at least one, if not 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh. Yep. Hard.
Oh, he's missing it. Oh, wow.
All right, let's
That was
do this,
tough to
boys.
do.
Tough.
8 rocks,
Yeah.
come on,
But,
let's go.
Steele won by Team Hall, and it is a tied game. And
Let's
you
just
can
have
see
a look at that again, Danielle. Look at that. He just, well, he missed both.
just missed every single rock. The sweepers just couldn't hold it out there for him. But Steele won, and all tied up at 4, heading into our 10th and final end of the game.
I thought I set it back out to it.
Looking across the
What?
sheets, it's Team Han with the Steele 1 and 7, and they now lead 6-3 over Team Steep.
Had to catch
All
it.
tied up in the Alden Little
Please.
game, 5-all. And that's after 7 ends of play, and the winner of that is
Line's
guaranteed a
good.
spot in the semifinal of the women's.
Yeah.
Wait only.
Team Liang
Wait
had
only. Line's good. Line's
their
great.
Steele 1 in the 7th. Team Marshall responded with a single in end 8. So, but it is Team Liang with a 6-4 lead. In the Wallingford Murphy game,
Okay.
Team Murphy is leading 5-2 over Team Wallingford. Big game there. The winner of that game will go to the women's final. Team Richard picked up a single in end 8. They're up 5-3 over Team Fayez. Team Steele up 5 now
Yep,
6
yep.
to 4
Yep.
over Team
Hard.
Kimmel.
Hard! Hard!
And
Hard!
it's Team
Hard.
Warner 5-3
Hard.
over
Hard.
Team Razan.
Hard roll. Good.
And it was an unfortunate error on the first rock for Team Hull, just slipped in the ring. So Team Willsey could and did hit it.
3 lines really tight. Line's really tight. 3.
Okay, well, it's not there. We're just going to go over, just over. I ain't leaving high. You didn't get out to the stick.
Sit. Okay. That's good. That works.
Yeah.
Team Willsey is going to try the tick shot here.
Oh. Clean. Whoa. No. Yep. Okay.
Threw perfect weight on that shot. Just did not curl for them.
Well, yeah, that's when you go around and then just throw guards and on that last split and sit too. No, I like this, Joe. Yeah, but you still gotta make a shot, Joe. That does not matter. Yeah, I don't
Room!
wanna go early. Hair light, I don't want to go early.
Room!
Okay, we gotta go soon. Gotta go
Room!
soon.
Okay, Jeff, yep. Yeah, go, boys.
They really need to
Come
make
on,
sure that
boys.
this is in a good position
Line's getting better. Come on.
in the house to be
Yeah,
able
you got
to
it.
use
Yep,
this as a steal point.
Go.
It's not
Go.
going to be. Unfortunately,
Okay,
it's
that's all right,
set
Joe.
up a
No
double
worries.
peel.
That's one of those rocks where you needed line and weight, but you really needed the weight on that rock. You needed it to be in the 4 foot
Going right
because
into it.
that would have been the rock that would have been the steal point. So
Exactly.
even if it
I
had
think
been
give it a go.
exposed, Team Willsey would have either gone after the guard and you could put up a better guard on that one, or they would have taken the one in the house and you could have put in a better rock.
Exactly. You'd have one or the other shot available. Now this could.
No. Yep.
Just like that.
Well, that's when Team Willsey is pretty happy about the active striking bans.
Yes, for sure.
No, I like your weight. Just, it held off that line for longer than I thought it would. And I was waiting for it to break.
It's so unfortunate that Team Hall has clawed their way back into this game, and just a couple untimely misses here. And
I like the throw, though.
they're going to be in pretty tough
Line's
unless they
good.
get a miss from the Willsey team.
And we did see a couple
Two.
of misses from
Line's
the
good.
Willsey team earlier on. So, I mean, never say never.
Okay, whoa. Okay. It's good. It's all right. Play these shots, and then I'll make that draw behind the yellow.
Yep. Hard.
And they make no mistake with that peel. We're going to see Matt ask for another guard. They're wanting this one to be more on the center, though.
Cheeky. Very cheeky.
Line's good. Line's good.
Go a bit, guys.
Line's real good, boys. Good sweep.
Keep going. Go now or wait till he's first. I was thinking now, hold on. Okay. That's what I asked.
Yep. Hard.
I think hard. Because if he ever runs it back and spills everything now with the ends done, I think we
Sweet.
got Yeah, I think we gotta go on that.
Other side of side.
So the team was discussing what to do with this next rock of Jeff's, and they decided that they do need one more guard.
Matt! Less ice. Get it closer to center, yeah.
Yeah, Jeff's wanting to make sure that this rock is on center, if not on the other side of center.
Line's good.
Head on zone.
2. Okay, it's fine, Jeff.
Place to rock. Team Willsey's going to be looking to peel this even better. I know they have this in the back of their minds. If they could also take their rock with it, that would be a good position.
Oh.
Timeout. Sheet 8.
Where do you think's the race now?
Sorry, John.
Okay.
I don't know if we're throwing this fast.
No. The most that we've done is remember that draw around the guard that I threw in the 5th or something. I think it was the 5th. Yeah.
Okay.
That
I
like
was thinking center line.
I was thinking a hair tighter.
Okay, yeah, I don't think more than center because I think it's going to run if
Yeah,
you're on the
no.
other side of center. So,
Do you like this?
sure. Yeah, let's try that.
Yeah.
Get it back. I can bring it back as long as we're in the 8 foot. Like, that's
Yeah.
probably what we're gonna
I
do.
was thinking like back gate.
Yeah.
Back gate.
Yeah,
weight.
we're going to have to try and sit 2 on them, so that's good.
So they talked about back 8 weight, and Mary, this is interesting. This is a spot on the ice they haven't played
Back
yet.
4.
We've seen it over the past round robin games, and we know this is a spot that will go. they're talking about backhand. I
like
think
the
they're
same way that I gave you
thinking
guys
that
last
to
time?
even get around it, but we know that it's. They also want to get some separation between that top one, but even with less than back 8, it will still vary.
It will. What will be interesting here, Danielle, is the weight going to the wing, as we've talked about. Sweepers can take this a long way on this part of the ice.
Line's good. Line's good. Room right now. Room right now. Line's good. Joe! Joe!
Oh dear.
Joey! Joey! Yep! Hard!
Rip the red.
Now, whether it picked, whether it moved, they seem to think it picked. But I don't know, Mary. We've seen so many rocks jump aggressively early in this kind of spot that it's.
Yeah,
It just it goes.
It does.
So I don't think that was
No.
a pick.
It's deceiving because it goes and it jumps so quickly that it looks like it picks. But I don't think it did either.
Yep, yep.
Clean.
Yep,
Yep, hard!
yep, yep.
Hard! Try and come around, leave it half open. Yeah.
We'll see Danielle because he's going to play the same spot again.
Okay, I'm wondering if you take the same ice and just throw it a bit like cleaner. Should be close. Yeah, it's good.
Agreed with Jeff. The same ice is what they need. So they said it was a pick, but from their discussion, it sounds like
I don't
Jeff-
think if he's half. if
Jeff
we're
was
half
thinking
there.
that it was just moving.
Yeah. Yeah, it just jumped early. Yep. Line's good. Line's good. Room. Room. David. 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 Gotta go, Dave. Hard, Dave. Come on, let's go. Go, 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 go. Okay, good sweep.
same.
Good guess.
Yeah, and that's just a difference of release there. You could tell he had more of what we've been seeing this game, more of the pop on his release. And we heard Jeff say he thought it was softer and on his first. I just didn't get the same amount of curl. So this is a hit for the win and a trip to the final for Team WILLSEY.
Clean, yep, 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 yep.
And Team WILLSEY is headed to the final of the Ontario U21 Curling Championships. Team Hall has a spot in the semi and a final score of 6-4 in our featured game. So Team Hall will await their opponent.
Yeah, that was a well-played game, and Hull did make a good comeback. So we're just awaiting Danielle. Actually, we have a replay here of the last shot of the game, a hit and stick. And again, that puts the WILLSEY team into the final of this competition?
So we will be airing a tiebreaker at 8:30 p.m. tonight if there happens to be a tiebreaker game going on. Now, there are still several games out on the ice, so that is still to be determined. So please stay tuned to our website, to our Twitter account, for more information on whether or not there will be a tiebreaker at 8:30 tonight. So make sure that you don't miss a minute. But we'd like to take this time to thank you all for joining us today for our coverage of the 2017 Ontario U21 Curling Championships, brought to you by Curl On. On behalf of Mary, myself, and our entire TSL crew, we wish you a good afternoon from the Annandale Golf and Curling Club. This has been a presentation of Title Sports Live.